Who plans their fall garden in July? I do. So I've got a new strategy, I got a new plan, and I have done all the research for you guys for your gardens. I have found the fastest growing brassicas that we can possibly put in our gardens this fall, and we are going to have an abundant amount of food. So I'm going to show you in this video what I grew last year, how long it took from seed to harvest, the seeds I have found to replace them, and then I'm going to show you how to succession grow them so we have just an abundant amount of food. So let's get into this. Go get your coffee, go get your tea, make a martini, meet me back here, and then we're going to talk broccoli. And then we're going to talk cauliflower, cabbage, collard greens, and kale. Stick with me. A little about myself. I live downtown Orlando, Central Florida, Zone 9A. I mostly grow out of raised beds and green stalks. I have great big planters, and I have indoor hydroponics and outdoor hydroponics. I also have been working on a food forest on this property for about 8 years, so most of it is fruiting by now, but we're constantly working on it and adding some new things and stuff like that. But follow me on this journey. I cannot wait to dive into this fall garden. I'm so excited. I've been taking a break from outdoors because it's been so hot, so this is me gardening right now. This is me doing it. So let's get into this thing. Our fall garden in Central Florida is our spring garden. It is our spring garden. It is our love. This is when we get cooler temperatures, less bugs, and so it's a big deal for us, and that's why I'm planting it in July. I am going to start my first seeds tomorrow, which is July 10th, and I will show you how we're going to succession all these to get as much food as possible off. You know, I live on a 1/4 acre, but I'm not using the whole 1/4 acre. A big part of it is my house. I have a pool. I have chicken yard. I have all these things. So there I go, shaking the camera again. I'm so sorry. So I'm not going to touch it. But anyways, pick 3 people to follow in your area and your zip code and your maybe just Central Florida. I live in Orlando, 32803. So it helps you to see when to grow things, because I can't tell you for how many years I was growing broccoli and trying to grow it in springtime, and it takes 75 to 100 days to grow a broccoli, and so it would get too hot. It never worked out. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Well, then I learned the word brassicas, and I've been growing food since I was like 6 or 7 years old with my father. We grew up on a homestead, like a real homestead, a long time ago. And we had chickens, we had goats, we lived on top of a hill looking over a lake. I had my own boat, I fished, there was deer out there. The whole 9 yards. We had huge gardens growing up. And he just really wasn't very scientific at teaching me what he was doing. We just did it. So as an adult, as a young adult, I've been growing ever since with my children, every single year something. But what I'm trying to say is you have to learn your area when to grow things, because I'm not going to put in my broccolis the same time as somebody in Alaska. And I watch people in Alaska all the time, and they've got like a super short window. So I know they're probably a lot smarter than me and have figured out a long time ago that they're going to find the fastest growing broccoli for their area. And so it took me a few years, but I've already done the research for you. Let's go through this. So these are things I grew last year. Broccoli Rasmus, 60 to 65 days. So not too bad. I'm actually at the end, I'm going to pick out one of each of these, and I'm going to put it in another bed, one of each of them, and all the like longer date ones to harvest. And we're going to see what we do with the long, the 80 to 110 days to, my 45, 50 days. We're going to do that just as a little test. So we had that one. That is the Romas. This broccoli, I think it must come from Amazon because I don't see a name of the company, but it's a Romanesco. Who doesn't want that grown in their yard? I have tried year after year. These take 75 to 100 days. Nope, not doing that again. I probably will because I'm a sucker, but for this year, I want to get as much food as possible in my freezer. So this one is the Calabri, not Calabri. It is, let me show you. Yeah, I don't have my glasses on. I always think I can do this without my glasses, and I can't. Calabrese, so close. So anyways, that's Color Breeze, 70 days. All right. So what else we got? Yeah, I think that's it on those. So I found a broccoli called jacaranda. And let me read this to you. It is 50 days, y'all. 50 days. I think I can get 3 succession times out of this. And I have already mapped it out. I've already put my dates down so I know exactly when to start new seeds for this. So let's read this. So the jacaranda is 50 days, which is amazing. It's also purple in color and it has about 5-inch heads. I am okay with all of it being purple because purple and green broccoli, they taste exactly the same. So I'm good with that. So if it sounds like somebody's peeing behind me, it is one of my hydroponics that just turned on and it's watering itself right now. Hopefully it stops soon, but I don't know how long that's going to run. I think it's going to run about 15 minutes. So we're going to keep on going. I think she's done. So I'm not going to show you with all of these how I plan on doing succession sowing. I'm just going to show you on this one packet. Okay, so it says it takes 5 to 17 days to germinate. So let's say 2 weeks, let's say 14. So if I plant this tomorrow on July 10th, the germination, it'll be about the 24th of July when I have little plants. I plan on doing all of my plants that I start from seed to be in the raised bed gardens September 1st. So I'm going to have 5 weeks of that plant getting nice size. And I'm starting all of these in this size planter this year. I'm going to put 2 in each one. They are going to go from this into my raised beds. I'm not doing those little guys this year. I'm doing this. And you have to understand all of brassicas, what that kind of means, it puts them in a family that they are all cold tolerant. So if I get a light freeze, if it's cold, they're okay. These do not need to go in my greenhouse at all. So I'm going to put these seeds in this tomorrow and I'm going to put them around my tree and keep them watered, and that's how we're going to do that this year. So September 1st comes around, put them in the raised bed, right? So they got 50 days until I get a plant. From that moment when I put them in the bed, when I start counting my days. So 25 day, I'm actually on September 1st, since it takes 2 weeks for them to germinate and they need to get a little height on them, September 1st, I'm going to go start a whole new session of seeds for these. And I've got them written down in my garden diary, how many plants in each bed I am going to need for that. So I think for 50 days, usually come the end of February, I'm already thinking about I'm already got all my plants for my spring garden. So by the end of February, I think I can get 3 sessions of this. And that kind of means for this one, jacaranda, I'm going to do 8 plants a session, so I will get 24 heads of broccoli. I'm also going to do some more experimentation on my hydroponics, and I'm going to pick a couple of these to put in there. I can't pick too many because it gets so big, and they crowd out everything else. But now let's go to the cauliflower. Now, how I found my cauliflower. Before I show you the dates and times and everything, this is one of the magazines I looked through. I mean, here's the broccolis, and I'll tell you, I mean, that was the one, jacaranda, 50 days. That was the fastest growing one. I'm like, I am into that. But some of these are 150 days. No, I'm not doing 150 days. So here's one, Mammoth Red Rock. I don't even remember this doing well at all. But this is in 90 days, okay? So that's, a month too long for me. And who has everybody's grown this, right? Red Acre. And I usually get a pretty good cabbage out of this, but it's 75 to 100 days. And I swear, I think it's longer than that. I do. Because I'll be looking at that stuff forever going, what are you doing? But look what I found. This is my favorite, Savoy Perfection. I got that one from M.I. Gardner. 80 to 110 days. I absolutely love this cabbage so much. When it was St. Patrick's Day, I made some corned beef and cabbage, and I used a whole head of this in there, and it was absolutely delicious, and it's so pretty. I know I have 2 heads growing out there right now in the heat of the sun. They're not getting any bigger, but they look like flowers and they're just really, really pretty. But look what I found. I found a purple Savoy, and it's 65 to 70 days. So you're taking off a month's worth of time there to harvest. And so we're gonna change to this one. But look at the Katrina one, that one I showed you. 45 days, y'all. But if you read this one, it says they're 4-inch globes, so they're gonna be kind of small. And that's okay, because we can succession sow these 3 times. And since they are smaller, I'm actually gonna go into my garden diary and because I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a bed. We may be able to put a couple more in those because they're not going to get huge. And it also says they're really, really good for planters. So you can put them in other planters. Like I usually do carrots in my big planters, so I could stick one in the middle. It'd be really cute and pretty. Maybe we can put some in our green stalks. This is the Quick Start Fresh, and this is 55 to 60 days. And this one says it gets 3-pound heads, so I'm all for that. Switching out my cabbage this year and growing it a lot. And I've already written down the dates where I need to go ahead, succession sow them, and we're gonna do this. Let's go to collard greens. Collard greens all are about the same. So these ones though, these were 60 to 80. And I found this collard green, to me, I mean, there's some more tender collard greens than others, but I grow them for my chickens. We love collards, don't get me wrong. I have a freezer full of them, but I grow this for my chicken food. And I'm gonna do a bunch of mustard greens for them too, and I'm gonna put it in their chicken garden. But yeah, these are 55 days. So, and this will give me food through the fall, through the spring, through the summer. Collard greens grow really, really good in Central Florida. So that is my chicken food. And kale, I have got a freezer full of kale. I hope my family loves it as much as I do, like Swiss chard. I keep hitting this table. I hope this doesn't look absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, so the kale I have picked, it is a 50-day. So they're all about 55 to 65 days for kale. But this one, Red Boar 51, it's a curly kale, and I like me curly kale in my soup. This is a really deep purple, and so I'm excited for that. So I'm just adding something new to my freezer, and that is it. I'm going to show you though, because if you guys are going to run out and go online and you're going to look for these quick days to harvest, however you say that, and you're going to do your own research, then I want to show you actually something that maybe you should think of getting right now before, just so you have it. Because these are things I am going to put right in the ground. I just keep touching that table. I've never shot like this before. Maybe I have once or twice in my egg video. But anyways, let me show you. So I'm going to start my onions tomorrow. And these are both short date onions. Now, that's another thing you got to think about. We have less light in the fall here, and so you need short date onions for Florida. So if you live up in Michigan and it doesn't get dark out till 10 o'clock, then you need long day. But so I'm going with this right here, Cipollini. And this one is just a white grano. I don't think they get really, really big, but I'm gonna put a bunch in my green stock, and I'm going to, like, if they don't get huge, that's what I'm gonna get my onion powder from this year. And I accidentally bought some long day, so I'm gonna put those in the ground just to get rid of the seeds and see what happens. And if they only get really, really small, then again, this is gonna be some onion powder for me. So I'm gonna start that, and I'll show you on my next video how to do that. But tomatoes, so let's talk tomatoes really, really quick. I did the best tomato fall season I've ever done in my life, and I think I got about 70 gallons total. But my spring garden, there must be a different kind of a bird that comes here during the spring, then it must fly away during the fall. because I had so much bird damage from those dang birds. Not bug damage, bird damage. I put little bags over and protect them, and guess what they did? They just like pecked right through the little bag at them. Just enough to damage them. Oh my goodness. So I'm focusing that my fall tomato season is when I need to get the most. My goal for tomato sauce this year was 52 jars, because I'm figuring maybe 1 jar a week that we will go through. I did 36 jars. So it was really, really close. So I'm going to really, really focus on my tomatoes, more of them. And here's the scary part of when you're doing tomatoes during the fall. I haven't had a freeze in 3 years, but the year before that, I had 3 freezes, major freezes. And so it would take out all my tomatoes. But you know what? These are cheap. These seeds are cheap, and I will just start a new run. I will start 2 sessions for my fall anyway. I will start them now, and then I will start some more in November. I also have a greenhouse, and I'm going to do that greenhouse a little bit differently this year. I'm going to put about 6 to 8 of my huge planters in there with 2 tomatoes each, and I've done it before, but not that many, and really focus on my tomato season, because my spring is so hardcore. So we're going to play with that, but I'm going to start the seeds tomorrow, and then I'm going to go ahead and just sow these right in the ground. Spinach everywhere. I'm doing a Pelco and a giant Noble, and it'll be nice and cool out there, but these I'm not going to start yet. I'm going to start those in September when I plant everything else out. And mustard greens for the chickens, of course, any kind you want. I have some purple ones I started not last year, 3 years ago. I've never bought, I don't even have seeds, and they come up every single year. It's amazing. But here's the fun thing I have never done before, and it costs a little bit more money, and it's going to be worth it for me this year. Now, these carrots I got from Territorial, but you can get these from seeds all over the country, whatever. But I picked the Napoli because they are a 55 to harvest. That's not bad. And they're kind of like a shorter, fatter carrot. And it also says that, I don't know, just says they're good. Anyways, the thing about this is I went ahead and spent $1.45 more for, you could get the seeds a little bit cheaper, but I got the pelleted ones. And pelleted ones, I'm going to show you here in a second. I got 250 for $6.45. That's expensive to me, but I know you're going to pay more for the pelleted anyway. They had the same seeds for like, I don't know, $4.45 or something like that. Here's the pelleted seed. I'll pour some in my hand. So these pelleted seeds have a little coating over them. And if you know what a carrot seed looks like, let me see. If you know what a carrot seed looks like, you can't pick it up like that. You can't pick it up that easy. But with these, it also helps to keep them moist for a while until they germinate. So this is amazing. I have 250. I got a place for them. I got a couple places for them. But this way, instead of what most people do is they dig a little trench and they get their seed pack and they just go and they cover it up like this, and then they germinate. And then there's so many, they have to go in with little scissors and they got to thin them out, because if your seeds are all together like that, you got that many seeds, sprouts going, you're going to have to thin that out, because they are never going to get big. They're going to fight. The roots are going to fight, and they're just going to be like, who cares? I think I have a pelleted seed in my shirt. Yep, I do. So anyways, let's try that this year. Let's try some pelleted seeds. That way we can put them every 3 or 4 inches apart in a nice little straight row. I'm going to do it this year. It's worth $1.50 more. See if you can find it cheaper somewhere else. I'm sure you can. But so that is super exciting. Get that now, because why wait? I'm going to sow these September 1st in the ground as well. I'm not going to start them. So anyways, wish me luck. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do. You can watch me grow, literally. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm so excited about this year. And what's really cool is I have my little map I'm not going to show you too close because it looks like a 6-year-old did it, but I have really worked hard on this. I know exactly where everybody's going. I know how much I got to grow. I'm thinking smarter this year. I want to grow a ton of food. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Subscribe, like, and comment. Please tell me what you're doing in your garden this year. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.